Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon, wherever you are joining in from. Good afternoon, everyone. Woo! Yewande has been waiting for us. Thank you for joining. Thank you, Cordelia. You're welcome to this afternoon session. Just before we start, can you tell us where you're joining in from? Let's know where you're joining in from. Let's know. Just put it in the comment section. Please go back to your groups, go back to your status, share this link with family and friends because we are in for a very, 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 very interesting conversation this evening, and I don't want them to miss out of it. So please do well to post on your status, do share with your family and friends. For everyone that you know needs to be here, tell them to come in and join the conversation right now. So if you're joining, please let me know where you're joining in from. I'm still waiting. Hello. All right, let's just wait for some time for more people to join. All right, thank you. Thank you for joining, Yewande. Thank you, Cordelia, for joining. Please do well to put in the comment section where you're joining in from. We'd love to celebrate you. And please, if you may let us know your expectations too. Hi, Miss D in the building. Let's know your expectations. What are your expectations? What are the things what are the things you really think you're going to learn from today's session? Let's know. Let's know. What are your expectations? Or are you just joining because someone sent the invite to you? Or are you just joining because someone posted it on the group that you belong to? Let's know what your expectations. Oh, Cordelia, thank you. Joining from Nottingham. Thank you. You're welcome. You're welcome. Please tell everybody on your street, tell them there's a session going on that they need to be a part of. They should join right now. Post on your church groups, post on everywhere you can. Thank you, Miss D. Your expectation is to learn more about becoming. And like the Bible says, the expectations of the righteous will not be cut short. So I'm definitely sure that this expectation will not be cut short. All right, joining from Kent. Ooh, that's nice. Thank you, thank you. The one and only Odog. The one and only Odogu in the building. Glad to be here. Thanks for joining, Bethel. Thank you. Thank you. All right, so let's kickstart the journey for today. I'm sure you must have seen the flyer and a lot of thoughts might have come to your head. Rediscover yourself. What else do you want to know about yourself that you don't know? I mean, you're how old now? You've known yourself for over 30 years or more. And you're like, what's so special that I want to know about myself that I don't know? I can assure you that you are in for a great ride this afternoon. Our amazing speaker is in the stream, and she's well prepared for this task, and she's okay. I'm talking too much. All right. So before we start, let me just give you a quick run through about PSP. So this program is organized by PSP, and PSP means Parents Supporting Parents in the UK, meaning most of us or all of us are in the UK. And it's actually a support community. Our vision is to empower African parents in the UK to thrive in a diverse society while raising awesome families and fostering a sense of community. Like they say, you can't do life alone. And one of the things I've learned being in the UK for some years now is that you thrive on information. There are so many mistakes we made, so many opportunities we didn't maximize because we didn't know, and there was nobody to give us or to tell us about them. So we are a community where we provide relevant support, you ask questions. We also organize webinars just for people to learn one or two things. So you just don't do life alone. Life is meant to be shared. I mean, do life with communities. So this is a lovely community. So if you're not part of us, the opportunity to join, we'll provide the opportunity to join before the end of the session. So our tagline is supporting each other and raising strong families. So it's not just about, we don't come together to do amebo. The whole idea is to raise wholesome families. And our mission, like I said, is to provide a supportive and inclusive environment where Muslim Nigerian parents in the UK can share experiences, we can access resources, and we also build a network that promotes mutual learning and holistic well-being for ourselves. And we have both male and female on the group, so it's not just a female-only group, right? So you can be a part of us. Values, our values include respect. We respect everyone. There's empathy. We genuinely and sincerely care for one another. We have the mutual support, education, advocacy, and also community engagement. And over the past 1 year, we've had webinars varying on different conversations. We've had conversations on education, on demystifying the English education system, on how to take care of your skin. You know, as Blacks, our skins are quite different, and because of the weather too, how to find yourself in the business of life. We've had financial conversations. In fact, a lot of people have become millionaires just by being a member of this community based on the access they had to vital information. We've had conversations around safeguarding children. We've had loads of conversation. I'm sure you can see quite a number of them on the group. In fact, we've had intimate conversations, how you can give and receive sexual satisfaction without feeling used. We've had conversations around how to raise girls, how to be healthy. I mean, after making all the money, you don't want to fall sick. You need your good health to be able to enjoy the money. We've had conversations around productivity. I'm sure you can see them on the screen. And today we are having an amazing conversation. I'm so excited about today. I don't know about you, but me, I am excited. And other activities is because we are more family oriented, right? So we have intercessory prayers on Tuesdays where we pray for communities, we pray for churches, we pray for families. I mean, just standing gap, because the truth is, whatever policy that is being made will definitely affect us one way or the other. So we need to stand in gap to ensure that the right policies are being passed. And so we have monthly prayer meeting, we have Bible study, and we have monthly webinar, which is what we're doing now. And part of our upcoming project is a charity project, and hoping for a summer hangout. All right, thank you. So if you'd like to be a part of this community, here is a link and also a QR code that you can scan. Interesting. So if you are ready, I mean, really ready, really ready, can you put in the comment section to say, I am ready? And before I bring on our speaker, I'm going to play a profile so that you have an idea of who she is. And so just stay tuned and stay glued to your screen. Alrighty.
Debbie Ekwo is a transformational coach, author, and founder of YourDiscoveryCoach, a platform dedicated to helping women, especially stay-at-home and midlife moms, rediscover their identity, rebuild confidence, and rise into purpose with power. After feeling invisible and stuck in the background of her life, she experienced a personal awakening that led her to reclaim her voice, redefine her worth, and walk boldly into her next chapter. She is also a certified John Maxwell Coach. Now, she passionately empowers other women to do the same through coaching, storytelling, speaking, and her signature program, The Rediscovery Journey. Her work focuses on mindset transformation, self-identity renewal, and intentional living for women in their second half. Whether on stage or in a one-on-one session, Debbie speaks with authenticity, compassion, and clarity, reminding women that it's never too late to become who they were always meant to be. Her tagline, "Hey mamas, let's start living," has become a rallying call for women who are ready to stop merely surviving and start thriving. Please join me in welcoming Debbie Ekwo.
Yay! Welcome, Debbie. I'm sure you were surprised. Is this me?
I need to borrow that video.
We'll see in camera. So, Debbie, you have the floor. The people are ready for you. I'm sure you can see from the comment section that people are really ready. See the love. Welcome, welcome,
Thank
Debbie.
you, thank you, thank you,
So,
thank
you have
you.
the floor. I
Odogo
will be
of
in the background.
Romance, Mrs. D, the
Right?
only mama, MBM. What's that her title again? You know what
OBE.
I'm talking about.
OBE.
OBE is in the house. Madam Cordelia, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm loving all your warm welcome, and I'm thankful to be on a platform like this, to be able to speak from the depths of my heart, because it's something I love to do. Yes, so OBE one and only. Yes. I'm so glad to be here in your midst. Thank you for the warm welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I do not take this for granted. Thank you, TK, for, bringing me out on a Saturday afternoon. Well, that's all good. We love what we do, and we do it with joy. Thank you so much. Love you too, Bethel. Thank you. So now, what's our topic for today? Rediscover yourself. The best gift you can give your children. I was just off, talking to women in my own community and saying to them why, when a woman rises, and I would say not just a woman in this case, because I know there are men here. When a woman rises, she gives another woman and her own children and some other person in the universe an opportunity to rise themselves. Since we're basically, I would say, well, technically, or most all of us are Christians, I'm going to use an analogy from the Bible, and it says, the creation waited in earnest expectation of the risings of the sons of God. When men don't rise, the work doesn't get done. When men don't rise, there's a disaster that happens. God needs men. The devil needs men, and God also needs men. So when we don't know who we are, when we don't rise to who we've been called to do, there's a calling inside of every one of us. And when we do not rise to that calling, and when we don't, rise to the things that, we've been called to do, we're also giving permission to our children not to rise. And it's the truth. Every time you fall below an expectation of what has been given to you, the capacity, because I would no longer agree that a God as great and as big as God would create mediocrity. So when you are in mediocrity, or when you are living in mediocrity, then, in my own opinion, well, that may be my own opinion, but I very strongly believe that the God who created us and who has created us, who is an excellent God, demands excellence from us. But when we don't rise and we don't know ourselves, then we start to fall below the expectations. We start to survive instead of thrive. And that's where the danger comes. When you live each day as if every day is the same day, there's a problem. When you live every day as if it's the same day, there's a problem. And there's no intentionality in the way you live your life. There's no alignment to your values, to your purpose, to your calling. Then you're just surviving. And you need to go back and rediscover. Because that rediscovery is the best gift you can give your children. I was listening to a guy on Instagram. I said I was going to find out his name, but for the life of me, I've been too busy to find out his name. He's really popular. He's an influencer, very popular guy, cute 23-year-old guy. I just stumbled on him and I was like, oh, I like what he said. He's made a statement, and that was all that made me click on it. He said, I saw my father go back to school. I saw my father go back to read a PhD. And now, let me get it right. I'm not talking about PhD, and I'm not talking about school. I saw my father do this. I saw my father do that. Now I have a PhD at 23 because I saw my father never giving up on learning. And that's the power of when you model rising. Some of us come into the UK, we say, oh, this is UK. In UK, okay, let me watch my tongue, because sometimes I have sharp tongue. But let me watch my tongue and try not to watch my tongue. You come into the UK, they tell you that if you don't do care job, you can't get any other job. So you just sit down there. You take whatever comes. Even your own coming was not was not You said I should not shout. I don't know. Sorry. Even your own intention, even your own coming was what you've heard from people. When you come, don't make friends with Nigerians. When you come, just make friends with, don't make, don't join, don't do that. Don't, you haven't found out what will work for you as a person and as a family. So you come in and you join the rat race just like every other person. You have never really rediscovered. You have never really seen the reason why you escaped from the hellhole they call Nigeria. For instance, I'm just giving an example. So you stay in the place of, you're careful. You're careful. You're not curating a life that you would want to live. And that's a very dangerous place to be. You forget who you are. You forget your calling. You forget your purpose. You forget that there is a higher calling to what you were called to. And then you start to live on the sidelines because according to you, they told you not to make too much noise. Let's go on. This was not in my slides, by the way, but I feel like someone needed to hear it and I needed to drop it. It wasn't in my slides. I didn't plan. I didn't have this plan in my slides, but let's go on. We already have the welcome, so there's no need. And we already have my story. There's no need. Why I do what I do and why I care. There was a time in my life where there was a day in my life rather where I got a text from someone and the text shattered me. I'm not going to tell a lie. It shattered me. And I looked at the text. I looked at myself. There were only two things I concluded from that text. I had become a pushover and I had become a pushover and I had become a people pleaser. Maybe the third one. And I had shrunk in places that no longer fit me. In places I do not belong. You come into the UK, because your kids have, because you start having, okay, I came in to the spousal visa and I got my husband came to Nigeria to drag me because I really didn't want to come, but he dragged me here. Oh, well and good. And I started having kids. So you start having kids and then you start to make friends with people because they are kids and you people are having, you are birth mates, let's put it that way, because you people are bonding together, you are pregnancy together and you are bonding together. And then you become friends. And I realized how I had shrunk. That text was just a testament of how I had shrunk so much. I had become so invisible in the life that I was living. I had become so at the backyard of the life that I was living. I was a stay-at-home mom, yes. Everybody could come and ask me for help, yes. But what was my purpose? And then when I realized I had shrunk, when I realized I was living in an invisibility narrative, when I realized that I no longer had the power I had, I just said it was my epiphany moment. I said, no. Of course, it worried me for a bit. I'm a human. But that also gave me, from that pain, gave me power to rise. I mean, your own epiphany moment might not be as non-dramatic. Mine wasn't dramatic. It was just a simple text, 10 pages, calling me all sorts of names. I have never had that type of friendship before. I had never known people to talk like that. I mean, I'm very sure I can beat my chest. I did nothing to this person. It's just, even if you had a misunderstanding, no, let's leave that aside. But it only showed me that someone was out there taking the mic, just simply taking the mic, and I had allowed it. I had allowed myself fade. I had allowed myself become a background noise. I had allowed myself just be Debbie. When I know that there was something more powerful about Debbie, and I wasn't just a background noise, and I wasn't just a pushover, and I wasn't just a people pleaser. I had to rise. I had to tell myself. And it just made me see how it's easy to become a furniture in your own house. So decisions are taken. One person is taking a decision, another person is just using the children as an excuse. You hide behind your children. You don't, every time you want to do something for yourself, you just say, oh no, the children are small. Oh no, the children are this. Oh no, the children. They say, come for a course. You say the children, everything, the children, everything is the children. And you don't tell yourself the truth. That it's easy to hide and become invisible behind these children. The funny thing is they grow. They can't get married. They have their life. And what happens to you? This thing is particularly true for women. For men, it could come across as, I have to go and work, I have children. And then you actually just submerge yourself in work, and you don't even know these children that you're working for. And then at old age, they said, mommy was always there for us, daddy was never there. Because it's who they see that they honor. It's who they see that they would attach to. So they won't see the money, they don't see the money, they don't see the provision. But you hide. I have children, I have to take care of them. And then you pile on up all the work, and then you hide. And the children that you are bringing up, they can't see you. You ask yourself, you ask a question: these children that you are slaving for, are they going to be here, or are they not going to be here when they're older? Are they going to be there for you just because they sense that it's different when you are attached to somebody because of the value that they give, but you're attached to someone just because you honor them. Like the Bible says, honor your father and your mother. So that it will not be as if you want that curse that is attached to that promise, then you just honor them. But there's no connection. There's nothing. So why are we here? Why are we in this webinar? Why do we need to rediscover ourselves? What are we living for? Let's go on. What exactly are we living for? There are 3 things I want us to remember: that we are more than the roles that we carry. So for every time you tell yourself that you need to, you use yourself as your children as an excuse to hide, and your children as an excuse not to even pursue something that is a higher purpose, other than just working, providing, cleaning, cooking. For every time you hide, ask yourself, are you a role, or are you a person? Who are you? You are more than the roles that you carry. You are. And then every time you grow, you also give your children the permission to grow. I told a story about that guy who had a PhD by the time he was 23. What did he say? He said one thing. He said, I watched my father. That's all. I don't know the rest of the story because I stopped there. I watched my father. What are your children watching when they are looking at you? What are they watching? Your dysfunction, your restlessness, your overwhelm. What are they watching? What are you modeling? That when you are when you're an immigrant, you are bound not to make it. What are they watching? That when you're an immigrant, you have to take 16 shifts just because you need to make ends meet. What are they watching? What are you modeling? Are you living a full life? Are you living in your purpose and in your calling? Are you living in the thing that you were born for? When you grow, when you're intentional about your growth, when you're intentional about the way you align your life to growth, because there's nothing as tragic as you growing older, but you're not growing mentally, physically. When they say do exercise, when they say read a book, when they say, your mental, how is your mental, mental health, when you're not taking care of yourself. And then rediscovery is the most powerful parenting tool that you have. It's possible to rewrite your story. It's possible to take a pause and ask yourself, the life I am living now, how will I end in the next 40, 20, 30, 10 years with this life that I am living? I was talking to my niece one day, and I said, she finished university. She got a job with KPMG. Very good job. Said the job was stressful. Came to the UK to work. KPMG transferred her to the UK, so she was working in the UK. She said the job was too stressful. She wants to go to America to do a master's. And I said to her, what's your plan? And she was like, she'll just see where life takes her. I said, no, you have the power to decide. Things might not always go your way. Things might not always go your way, but you have that power. I want you to, if there's anything you're going to take from me, you have the power to decide the trajectory of your own life. You have the power to rewrite your own story, and that's what rediscovery, that's part of what rediscovery is all about. So you can say, this is what I know. When you're reading chats on the groups and you hear, this UK, I don't get it. I don't know this UK. You have the power. Rediscovery is the most powerful parent tool that you have. It's the most interesting, it's the most powerful parenting tool that you have. The mind is more powerful than you think. I will say this carefully, but I will say it loud and I will say it clear. Be careful the narratives that you take on about your life. Be careful the narratives that you take on, or the labels that you take on about yourself. Be careful about the way you talk about your own story. Your story is powerful and is more powerful in the way you present it. I won't give you a powerful story. You will write that story and you will walk in that power of that story. So you need to be careful. You come into the UK, you hear all sorts, you hear blah, 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 blah. You join all the blah, blah. You join all the, oh, this is how they do it to here. I hear you and I hear you loud and clear. Loud and clear. But be careful how you take stories. Because you will look back and you say, what exactly did I do with my life? And that's a very scary place to be. I was on my own webinar, I was talking about a 63-year-old woman who was talking to me as in my capacity as a coach. I told her I couldn't take her on, I can definitely not take her on as a client, because in my own opinion, that woman had more experience than me. But the point was, she told me one thing in that session. The client became the coach and the coach became the client. We swapped roles. She said, Debbie, whatever you do not live your life to chance. It's the biggest regret you will ever make. Say, start every opportunity I have now that you're young. And then she asked me, how old are you? I said, I'm 45. She said, okay, don't worry, you are still young. Don't become 63 and you are wondering where your life has been. Don't become 63 and you're wondering what exactly have you done with yourself. It's a tragedy. It's a tragedy. This woman works in one place for 35 years and she could not find her life. She could not find who she was. And the wealth of experience that she had, I had to tell her, I said, Ma, even if it means employing a Gen Z to help you operate your Facebook account, I want you to start write. She's a good writer. She showed me something she had written. And oh my God, I was dazed. I said, Ma, you will start to write. And you will start to write these stories. And you will start to document the stories of the women you have helped while you were at that job. And you will make it a personal mission to save people through Facebook. I haven't heard from her in a while, but she sent me a link of her Facebook and said, Debbie, please encourage me. I have started. The point is, even if you're 63 here and then you have decided that, okay, time has gone, if you will pick up yourself, you will rise again. It's simple. She cried. She said, look at me, I'm fat, I'm old, and I'm ugly. The payoff that they gave me when I was leaving the company was nothing to write home about. I can't even pay off my mortgage. I go to my children who now have children and I say, Mom, get a life. That's what they tell her, Mom, get a life. I'm like, I don't even understand it. I don't know who I am. I'm even ashamed to go to the gym. And I was like, the thing is, when you live life on autopilot, you're not strategic about how you live your life. You're not strategic about how you do things. One day you will wake up, and may it not be a waking up full of regrets. I would say this, I will say one more story and then I'll move my slide. I went for John Maxwell conference in March, and John Maxwell was saying that he doesn't feel like he had scratched a tip of what God had asked him to do. And I laughed. This man has written 91 books. If you know him, he's a world-renowned, he's a world-renowned human, a leader, a coach, a speaker, a trainer. He's a world-renowned. He has so many people that have listened to him. At 78, he was not relenting. In that same conference, there was a 90-year-old woman who was becoming a coach for the first time. Great that she was becoming a coach at 90, that she never stopped learning, that she never stopped growing, that she never stopped being intentional about how she lived. Yeah, she died a few weeks after maybe a week after she was certified, but that's fine. She died living her dream. Good. But some of us are young and we leave those dreams to chance, to fate, to I don't know how I'm going to get this job. I don't know how I'm going to do this. I don't know how I'm going to do that. And then we leave everything to chance. We leave our growth to chance. The things that kill us, we put all our energy in it. And then the things that make us, we have no time for it. Help me make it make sense. You complain about your job. You complain about being stressed about your job. You complain. But the thing that will make you to rise above a job or whatever it is, you complain that there is no time for it. May you not do a job to the detriment of your own growth, because your growth is what will keep you when that job is no longer there. It will create streams for you that you never knew existed. Because I will say this again, going back to the beginning, that God, who created us to be co-creators with him. You may have a job, right? And that's your source of income, but you can also be a creator, a co-creator, because ye are gods. Why do we then live on the altar of mediocrity? Why do we then live on the platform of, I don't know, nonchalance? I don't have time to do things that will make me intentional. I don't have time for intentional growth. I don't have time for the gym. I don't have time to do my workout. I don't have time to do my exercise. I don't even have time to create to parent my children. I don't have time. I don't have time for this. And these are the things that will keep you. These are the things that will give you strength in the days of adversity. It's the things these people who own companies, they will always do what's that thing called? I was made redundant when I was a banker, but I prayed for that redundancy because I told God when I was entering the bank, I said I didn't want to spend more than 5 years. Fela Durotore came to speak to us at that time in our training, and he gave us this great speech. And he said, he gave a statistics, and that statistics is true. How many of the people who you finished school with, let me put it that way. So he was talking about finishing strong. But I shall know that from that story that Vela Durotore told us. I told God, please, I don't want to spend more than 5 years in this bank, because I don't want to be chasing paper. I don't want to be chasing money at the detriment of my own calling. So I prayed for a release at 5 years. I just didn't know what the next thing was. And thankfully, all things work out together for good, but that's by the way. And he said some people just live on autopilot. I can't forget. And 5 years down the line, you're asking yourself, do you know that in that same bank, there's some people who are so intentional and so brutal about the way they rise, that while you are a banking officer, after 5 years or after 10 years, there's somebody there who is your mate, in quotes, that is now that has now risen to the top, maybe a regional manager. It's the same. There's a principle of growth that has to happen. I know this is about rediscovery, but rediscovery also has a big part of rediscovery is growth. It's growth. It is growth. There's growth that has to happen. I beg to differ, but if growth is so important to you, if growth is so big for you, you will find a way. But if it is not, you will find an excuse. Let's go on. Why this talk matters. Children don't inherit what you say. They inherit who you are. Children do not inherit what you say. They inherit who you are. So when you project fear, I remember I was very concerned about my first daughter. And she's very kind of timid-ish. I like to believe that, okay, she takes her time. I don't like to give labels. I'm learning not to give labels, rather. But I like to say that, she takes her time to warm up. But it's been 4 years since she was in her school. And she wouldn't stand up to speak in front of class, I understand shy, but I also don't understand that. I don't agree that we should, at that age, she should be so afraid to talk in front of her classmates. How about why? Or when visitors come, she runs away. So I was very concerned. And I started to look inwards. I didn't look at her because obviously she's how old? She's 7. So if I'm talking of 4 years, that started at 3. I started looking at myself. And I looked at myself. I said, okay, the way I've been talking to this girl, am I even instilling self-esteem for her? For those of you, most of you here, you're in what's that thing called? It's a TIP. God forgive me. It jumped off my head. So most of you are in TIP. So I looked at myself. I started learning about parenting from TIP, from Coach Wendy. I started learning about parenting. I just knew that, this girl, children are mirrors. So I said, okay, maybe it's the way I've been talking to her. And I started showing up more, volunteering in her school, taking up leadership roles, being more vocal. And the more vocal I am, the more vocal she is. Children don't inherit. So when I say stand, so the other day the teacher called me and said, "Oh, Chloe stood in front of class and she gave a present. I can't remember what she gave." And I was like, "Yay!" She's still shy about certain things, and that's fine. But I will not let her be that person. No, if she's my daughter, she has to rise. She has to rise. But it's a work in progress, so I'm not going to force it. But it will happen because as I rise, she rises. The day she called me one day and she was like, "Oh, mommy, you're a coach." And if you see how excited she was, these children are watching. They're watching you either sit on the sidelines and everybody's pushing over you. They're becoming a people. And they're also watching you rise. Children don't inherit what you say. They inherit who you are. Rediscovery is not selfish. It's legacy work. You're passing on something to the next generation. For us women who, we are, they say go for self-care. I can be guilty. I'm not going to deny that. I'm not talking from a place of perfection. Let's get that clear. Go to the spa, take care of the children. The children. Small thing. The children. The children. Yes, I understand that childcare can be hard in this country. But what even stops you from paying small money to a childminder and then just going for yourself? If you don't recharge, that's a lot of times that's where the yelling comes from. Don't kill me, I didn't kill my mother. No. A lot of times that's where the stress comes from. Remember that you're not being selfish. You are modeling something to someone. You are telling the next generation that it's okay for motherhood to be a martyrdom syndrome. And motherhood or fatherhood is not martyrdom. We were not called to be martyrs. We were called to be parents. We were called to be leaders. We were called to lead these children. And when we fail to take care of ourselves, we fail in that place of leadership. A thriving parent, not just a mother, I had to put that there because I realized that there are also men in the group, creates a ripple effect of joy, confidence, and purpose. You see that mom, that picture of a mom, tie wrapper tie wrapper on the, what's this thing called? On the chest. Hey, I don't tire. One day, do you know when my epiphany moment came again one day? Zoe was talking. Zoe is my second daughter. She's 5. And she's like, "Okay, tell us what you like about your mom." "Oh, my mom is nice. Tell us what you have. My mom is always tired." I said, "Chai, see the picture that I'm painting." So when she asks me now, "Are you tired?" I say, "No, baby, I'm not tired. We're just starting this life. I'm not tired." But it's the picture that they see. Mom is always tired. Mom is always stressed. Mom is always... We're painting a picture. But when we thrive, when can you see the moments when you're happy in the house, you are joyful, you are singing, sing hallelujah, you are dancing around in the house, and the house is bubbling, whether you're the mother, whether you're the father. But when you're always stressed, you release that stress into the household. Then you now start wondering why you're the sibling rivalry. You start wondering why Chloe is always hitting Zoe. You have created an atmosphere of stress. So when you thrive, you create a ripple effect. Think of it this way. When you lose yourself, your children also lose a part of you. What part of yourself are you giving to your children? Are you giving a wholesome self, or are you giving a weak, used, battered self? Think about it. When you lose yourself, remember that part that you have lost, your children have also lost it. So sometimes if I ask you now, what do you actually remember about your children? About your parents? You may have nice things to say because obviously you're trying to be nice. But what do you really, really, really remember? When you become alive again, you are waking something more powerful in them. Your children want to be able to look up to you and be proud of you. I'll tell you another story. When I was my sister, she might not remember, but I remember this story. So there's my little nephew at the time. He's 27. He's 26 now. 27. I can't remember. At the time, his mom said, "I'll come and pick you up from school," and he made a statement. I think he was like 4. He said, "Mommy, please, if you get fat, don't come to my school because I don't want my friends to laugh at me." I laughed, but I wasn't married then. I was like in my 20s. I laughed, but that was really profound for me. He said, "Mommy, please, if you get fat, don't come and pick me up from school." I laughed and I laughed and I laughed. I said, "Look at these children. What do you mean, like, if your mom gets fat, she should not come and pick you up from school?" He said, "Because there was these 2 fat ladies that used to come and pick up their kids, and the children chuckle at how fat they are." And I'm like, how do you even, who are these children? But that's by the way. Are your kids proud of you? I'm not talking about fat or thin now, but are your kids proud of you? Are you thriving in what you do? Are you thriving in the land that you're in? Are you thriving, or are you sinking? Let that sink in. That every time you thrive, every time you are waking, every time you do your exercise, every time you take care of yourself, every time you do yourself, every time you rest, every time you do something in the positive, every time you read a book, you develop your mind, you watch a documentary that elevates you, you have good conversations, you're in a good community. Every time you do the positive in your intentional growth, you give your children the permission. You awaken something inside of you and inside of them. There are some people you will not tell to be reading their books because their parents are readers. How did a 23-year-old boy become a PhD holder? He saw his dad, simple and short. Some of us started striving to become when we had left home. We had examples. I'm not going to say parents are bad, parents are not bad. No, I'm not saying that. But we only could thrive in the examples that we were giving. And until we came out of it by ourselves and decided, no. This life does not fit my purpose. This life does not, there's no, as my niece will say, there's no, I don't know the English. Somebody give me an English. There's no life. No life. You will find out that you will start to thrive. You start to crave what your parents could not crave. And that's why some of us are here. You found out there's something. Let me give you a funny story. My mom, she used to like to sit down at the edge of the stairs. And I'm just saying it because it's not coming to me. So, sometimes when you're talking, reflections come to your head. And she used to sit at the edge of the stairs. She likes very hot food straight from the fire. She will sit at the edge of the stairs because if she tries to get to the dining table, maybe the food would have been cold. I am exactly like that. I love my food straight from the fire. I won't even turn off the pot until I've served everybody. I like my food straight from the fire. And if it's just because of intentional parenting, that's why I start sitting at the table. You see that corner of the stairs? I'm exactly like that. I'll go and sit down at the corner of the stairs and I'll be eating my food because I don't want disturbance. I don't want you to see my mouth when you're doing ho, because I like as it's burning me. But see, that was my mom. That was just my mom. And it was until recently I now said, wait, why do I like to sit at the edge of the stairs? It's not a question of is a good thing or is a bad thing. Why do I like to sit down at the edge of the stairs? Why do I like my food straight from the fire? Every time you don't even know the effects of the life that you're living on, how it has on the next generation, because this is you pouring life into someone else. But how can you pour life when you have not even found yourself? Rediscovering yourself shows your children what it means to honor your truth, take up space and grow with courage. Being compressed into a space that you no longer fit in does not serve any purpose. Being in a relationship I'm not talking of marital relationship, being in friendship and relationships that no longer fit your space or your purpose doesn't help. That friendship that every month somebody's turning 40 and every month you have to buy Asoebi to go to Spain, Greece, and that's all that friendship group is all about. Traveling the world is good, but travel with purpose. Do things with purpose. Find communities with purpose. It's essential. It's essential for your growth. It's essential for your becoming. It's essential for who you are becoming, who you are going to be. Now let's go on. I hope you guys can still hear me and see me, because I'm not really paying attention to the comment section, but I hope you're feeling it. And if we're feeling it, let me see your comments. If it's making sense, let me see your comments, so I don't just go on and on and on and on and nobody's following me. Can we? Okay, I can't see any comments, so I'll just go on. Oh, we can hear you. Thank you. All right, now let's go to the next one. What is rediscovery? Remembering the woman or the man you were before the role. Remember that you're not a role. You're not a role. You are a person. You're a woman. Reclaiming your voice and your desires. What's that one thing? What's that one thing you've always wanted to do? You've always wanted to live. You see, when I was younger, I used to, it'd be nice to be an actress. I used to write books. You pin the books like paper. Do 6 pages. And I say, story of a girl, and then this book will only be 6 pages. Go to the moon. She went to the moon. Rubbish story. Not rubbish. Let me call it rubbish. It was my wild imagination at that time. And from the moon, she now landed America. How children, we tell stories. And I had those dreams, but where did they go? And I said to myself, when I started rediscovering who I was, I said, I'm going back to write my book. I'm going back. You may see me one day now, I'm acting movie. Because me, I can act film. You may see me, you may not see me, but I don't know yet. I'm still praying. But that's just by the way. But what's that thing? Reclaiming your voice and your desires. You shut yourself up. You tell yourself, oh, these people are white. They are the ones that know the land. You just shut yourself up. And I said, no more. I don't even care if you don't understand my accent. That's fine. You'll be all right. I don't care what you don't understand. But I will no longer suppress my voice just to fit into a space where I don't belong. I will no longer suppress my voice in relationships or in friendships that do not serve me. No, I've moved on. I've left many WhatsApp groups, so many, because there's no need. Reviving your energy and your confidence, that's very important. Remember when I talked about I'm always tired? You see, the thing that you're doing every day that is constantly draining you, be careful. You're draining your life, you actually don't know. You're constantly drained. You're not getting any joy from it. You're not getting younger either. But it's constantly draining you and draining you and draining you and draining you and draining you. Where is the life that you are living? Show me. It's not, nothing happens by chance. You are living a blueprint. You are living an agenda. You are living something. And then when at the end of the day, at the end of 40 years, at the end of 30 years, at the end of 10 years, you cannot give an account, you are not satisfied with your life. It didn't happen overnight. I gave an analogy of somebody who is always taking Panadol for headache, Panadol for leg pain, Panadol for this, Panadol for that. Tomorrow is waist pain, tomorrow is bad. And I'm also guilty with the next time. And then you don't go for checkups. You're like, Black African strong mama, I don't go for checkups. I don't do. I'm every day, German. They say the hospital is real. You see them, what? And then every day you are taking Panadol. You didn't go and check for headache. You didn't go and check the root cause, your treating symptoms. You go here, just here, all of a sudden. There's no all of a sudden. Your body tells you signs. There's no all of a sudden. The body was telling that person signs. Tomorrow you're having small constriction in your heart. Tomorrow there's, I'm okay, just, and then you always manage. You see what they say? We are managing. I'm managing myself. Be careful, because nothing happens by chance. You won't wake up as a 60-year-old. I don't know what I've done with my life. If you were doing something intentional with your life, and that's the truth. John Maxwell can wake up at 78 and still say that he has asked God for 100 and he wants to live at 105 because he hasn't finished. He might not be agile and walking the way he used to walk, but these men were intentional with their lives. Pastor Adeboye was intentional about his life. And I'm not just talking about pastors. There are people who are intentional with their lives. That old age does not, when the Bible says, and David was full of years. When they say you are full of years, what are the years? What's the combination of the years? I I was reading this morning and it was like David was full, and I was like, this is a very, very interesting way to say somebody is old. But when they say you are full of years, when you are at that point where they say you are full of years, what is the years you are full of? Was it intentionality, or was it just haphazard living? Was it just haphazard living? Was it just anything goes living? Let's see where life takes us. And that's why I told my niece that day. I said, no, you are 28 right now. I don't see these children, they have grown. They're too old for me now. I said, stop, don't tell me that. Let me see where life goes. You have the power to create. Don't take it for granted. You are young. Don't see where life goes, because it's that see where life goes that can make her decide, oh, okay, I just go and marry any type of man. After all, we have seen where life goes. No, I was teaching her that I said you need to be intentional to create a roadmap. It's very important for you, and you are young. Take advantage of your youth. No anyhowness. I think I should move on really fast. What are the 3 pillars of rediscovery? Identity. Who are you outside your titles? We've talked about that. Purpose. What makes you come alive? Direction. Where next are you going? Before I go on from this slide, I want to talk about something that really bothered me when I was making these slides, and it's what I call the hamster wheel trap. The hamster wheel trap is being stuck in a hamster wheel. You know, you're working very hard. You're working very hard. Very, very hard. But you're just going around in circles. It's circles. So every time we see you, you say, oh, I'm very busy. But what direction is your busyness? Is it a circular direction? Is it a hamster wheel direction? I'm very busy. But you're still in the same cycle, the same circle of trap. You're trapped. You feel stuck. You feel you can't move forward. Circling around the same old struggles and frustration. You're trying to stretch, but because you're in that circle, you cannot stretch more than that circle. What's your movement? Fumilayo said being busy and not productive. Perfectly put. There's a hamster wheel movement I would like us to be careful about, and that's a very key deliverable for this webinar. If I don't say any other thing, I want to say this. There's a very, very, very key point I want to make, because I see us, so it's so easy. After all, when I was a stay-at-home mom, I would tell you I'm very busy, but busy doing what? As my mom would say those days when I was growing up, busy doing what? There's busy and there's intentionality that produces results. So don't stay in a hamster circle, in a hamster movement. Don't stay small. What do you do every day to stretch yourself? I was talking to my niece, another niece. Yes. I have 30 nieces and nephews. Thank you very much for asking the question. I have 30. We are 8 children, and I have 30 nieces and nephews and 7 grand nieces and nephews. So yes, thank you very much for asking that question. For all of you that always say my niece. I've been saying it. Yes, I have 30. And I was talking to my niece yesterday, and she was saying, how she was working with a particular lady, and the lady was stretching her. And I said, it's good. And I'll tell you why I said it's good. Stretching has never killed anyone. You grow when you stretch. So I cannot come and kill myself group. Come out from the WhatsApp group. Because if you don't stretch yourself, you can't grow. If you don't do the things that are hard, doing hard things is very important for your growth. You see that reading a book, sitting down in one place and reading a book, giving up scrolling time for reading time is hard. It is easier to be lazy, trust me. But it doesn't pay you at the end of the day. Laziness is very easy. But at the end of the day, it's hard work. It's hard work, because you will start looking for help. Everybody is going to be living their own life. Laziness, at the end of the day, is the hard work. So what are you doing every day to stretch yourself? You see that exercise that you're running away from, and then you're not stretching yourself in your exercise. is hard work. When the person will need a wheelchair. You see that mobility exercises that they say you should do as you're growing older? You say you are busy, but you're not stretching yourself to do it. At the end of the day, that laziness is hard work. When you cannot cross the street without a cane. John Maxwell came on stage 78 years, and he wasn't holding a cane. He didn't need help. That's the type of aging I'm talking about. Aging with foresight. Stretching yourself beyond your limits. Growth requires a change in direction and the willingness to leave the past behind. What are those things that you're willing to leave behind? What are those things that are not willing? You might not even be willing. We don't need your willingness. Just leave it. Are they serving your growth? Are they serving the woman or the man that you're becoming? You struggle with certain things, but those things you're struggling with at the end of the day, they will not serve you where you want to be. Nothing. You say you can't give up TV. You say you can't give up this. You can't give your. I get you. But remember, there's a price to pay for every decision that you take. There's a big price to pay. Whether in the positive or in the negative, there's a price to pay. Growth happens when we deal with our inner issues, fear of the unknown, holding on to past identities. Growth is intentional, is aligned, and forward moving. So you see that direction I talked about? Where are you going next? Where are you going next? Is it a forward movement, or is it just still the hamster circle? Have a think and think about it. Where am I going? What am I doing with myself? Who do I want to be in the next 10 years? Who do I want to be in the next 5 years? When they say I am full of years, it sounds very funny to me. Full of days. Full of years, full of days. What are my days that I am full of? Are they full of emptiness? So you see that the old age is not a combination of just one day. It's a full of. So it's not that I start and then I stop. It's a full of. What have I lived? Who am I becoming? What direction am I going? Am I forward moving? Am I intentional? Am I aligned? These are questions we need to ask ourselves. The forgotten self. There are signs that you have forgotten you've lost yourself. You're constantly tired. That was Debbie. She has left that WhatsApp group. There was no excitement for life. So you invite me to something. Okay. No excitement. Your passions are dimming. Just tell yourself, yeah, this book that this person wrote, and I could have written it too. She can't see. There's even error in the book, Seth. There's error in the book. I could have even written a better. At least I studied English in school, and I've even written a better book. You see yourself. People are doing things. People are coming up. People are, that they are making excitement around their life, and then you're upset. That one is too much, Seth. Your passions are dimming. Be careful when you trade your passion for a job. Be careful. When you trade your passion for a 9 to 5, be careful. When you trade who you are, the essence of who you are for a job, you need to be careful. Passions are dimming. When there's resentment or there's numbness, what I just explained now, you don't feel anything, good or bad. It's just a furniture in your house. You go to work, you come back. Mommy, you treat yourself. Every small thing is like somebody is biting you. Don't kill me, I didn't kill my mother. Okay. You are forgetting yourself. You are more powerful than you think. Your mind is more powerful than you think. So when you do not rise and you do not take up that power, what happens? You give your power to someone else. You start to shy away from things. You start to be resentful. You resent even your own husband, who is what's the word? According to you, he's rising. His career is making him rise. You start resenting him. You start saying, women have to give up everything. Women have to give up everything. Did anybody hold your star? Nobody held your star. You can rise. Does this sound familiar? You are not alone and you're not broken. The good thing is that, as my mom used to tell me when I woke up, when I was a child, is when you wake up, that's when your morning is. It doesn't matter how far gone you are in anything I have described. There's always hope. Where there is life, there is hope. Where there is a will, there is way. All you need to do is to be willing. All you need to do is to rise. All you need to do is to step out of what I call a comfort zone and rise into the greatness that you were meant to rise into. Why is the gift of rediscovery so powerful for your children? We said this in other slides, but let's just repeat for emphasis. Children thrive under inspired parenting. This is let me give another story. I like stories, right? I think I'm a storyteller, and I will take that honor upon myself. I like story. I like telling story. I like gist. If people have gist, come and give me. I like gist, but I might not have time to collect the gist, but I like gist. Anyway, that's by the way. There was this day on the group chat, one of the group chats. A lady was complaining, "Oh, my son," and it just hit me. And sometimes I might put comments on the session, on the group, and it feels like I'm being harsh. But the truth of the matter is, you're complaining so much about your son to maybe 700 strangers, 800 strangers. I wonder what you are like in the house. Is he uncomfortable around you? And it felt like I was being harsh. But the truth is, I can't see myself being an inspired parent and then my children inspiring parents or an intentional parent or a connected parent, and my children will be so young children is always easy, they love you whether or whether. But by the time they start hitting their teenage years, they figure you out. They do. They figure you out. They just know that you are neither here nor there. So when I see parents who are complaining about their children, what's your parenting like? Are you inspiring them? Are you a go-to? Like my mama, nobody will be like my mama. And that's the thing. I used to run away from home. There was one time I when I was growing up, my sister was in the university, and I knew my parents wouldn't let me run away. So I just asked them that, please, can I go and stay with my sister in University of Benin? I just needed peace. Are your children looking for peace when you are a mom and a dad in the house? Are they looking for peace? Are they constantly asking you to go for holiday elsewhere? Because you don't, there's nothing inspiring about your parenting. There's nothing inspiring about you as a mom. Come, you need to rediscover who you are. You need to am I being harsh? Fumilayo. Anyway, okay, I think I understand what you said. You need to understand that the environment you create for your children, when they're small, they don't have a choice. They will always, in fact, sometimes I feel bad, I've yelled at my kids. I'm really working on that. I joined the New Learning Challenge. I joined this, I joined that, I'm seriously working on myself. But when in the rare occasions, or maybe not too rare, but when I feel bad because these children still come and succor to me. But that's because they're still small. But if I continue like this, I bet you they will be looking for where to go and spend the holiday. Inspired parenting. Be careful what you serve your kids, the attitudes you serve them, the voices that you serve them. Be careful. It will play back to you later in life. When they see you rediscover yourself, they learn self-respect, healthy boundaries, emotional freedom. Emotional freedom is not feeling. Emotional freedom is not about feeling what you are feeling. It's about acknowledging what you're feeling, learning from what you're feeling, and moving on from what you're feeling. It's not like we're telling you to suppress yourself. So I have a friend who I didn't like the way she talked to me. The Debbie of before would just say, it's okay. But now I don't like the way you talk to me. It's not like we're not going to be friends next time. But I need to tell you that the way you talk to me came across as emotional freedom. You're not bound to feeling bad all the time, bound to shame, bound to guilt, you're not bound by your emotions. You have the emotional freedom to feel the feelings. See, if the feelings are negative, you say, okay, what's your message for me? I'm doing a course right now, and it's talking about the sage voice and the saboteur voice. So when the saboteur voice comes and starts to say, I'm feeling bad about showing my, let me give an example. I must have been so stupid to have thrown away my hair ruffle, and now I don't have my hair ruffle. So that voice is a messenger. He has come to tell you what you did was not good. Okay, you have taken the message, but when you sit down in that negative voice for more than 1 minute, that's when you're sabotaging yourself. That's when you're constantly thinking negative. You sit down in the negative thoughts. That's where your sabotage comes from. That's where self-sabotage. So okay, the saboteur voice, saboteur comes and tells you you're so stupid for throwing away your hair. Now look at how your hair's flying everywhere. You tell that voice, thank you, I've gotten your message, but I don't have to sit down in the sabotage. You don't have to sabotage me. You don't have to sabotage me. And that is where emotional freedom comes. You're not afraid. You're not afraid to feel the feelings that you feel, but you also don't sit in the feelings that you feel. Emotional freedom is paramount to our growth and our rediscovery. You see, that whole sitting down in guilt, in shame, in self-doubt, in limiting beliefs, in lack of imagination, in things that do not serve us. How do we stretch out of it and how do we grow? That's the question. You become their first model of courage and joy. It takes courage to live this life. Takes courage. There's a quote by Ralph Waldo Emerson, and it says, the only person you are destined to become is the person you decide to be. The only person you are destined to become is the person you, not me, not somebody else, not your husband deciding for you, not your wife deciding for you. You see that whole, yes, there's a place for communal growth, as in let's grow together, but there's a place for your own growth. Your decision is your decision. You are the one. Nobody can make your mind up for you. Nobody can take the mind for you. Nobody can change your mind for you. They can only help you to see the reason why your mind should be changed, but the changing of the mind and the decision of the mind belongs to you. You are the decider of who you're going to become. Take a look at your life. I don't know how old you are, whatever age you are, take a look at your life. 10 years from now, what do I want to be? Write it down. What are the things? I've done mine. I just don't have, I need a board in my office, a better board in my office, but I have can't clip. Write it down. What are the things that this person needs to do to become that, and start living it intentionally every day? And it's not every day that is a big thing. So in a week, I might have some days I focus on this, some days, but it's a strategic planning of the woman I want to see when I'm 50, of the woman I want to see when I'm 55, or of the woman I want to see when I'm 60. Stay in a community that will help you to become that woman. Don't stay with Ashoibi ladies. We're getting too old. Stay in a community where there's growth. Stay in a community where you will rise. Stay in a community where you get challenged. Because sometimes even your own decision is first your decision, but you cannot, your own decision is first your decision, yes. But sometimes you need a community of like-minded people to push you into that decision that you have made, to help you, to hold your hand, to say when you are tired, come my sister, come my brother, let's work together. You don't have to do this life alone. But when you're not doing life alone, who are you doing life with? And are you doing life with intentional people like you are? Are you doing life with just anyhow people? Are you saying, oh, these people, they say when we come to UK, you should not talk to black people. Black Nigerians will put you in trouble. Find your community. There's no truth in any of that. I found my own community and they are black people and they are great. They are great. You only attract who you are. So first of all, become that person and you start to attract that. Obviously, as I grow, friends will drop. But the ones who are genuine and sincere to follow growth, those are the people that will latch on. And at some point, we may have to part, and it's okay. You're not a tree. You will move on. You're growing. You're not being brutal. You're not being, unrealistic. You are growing. And if you're growing, growth demands that. You see your hair? When your hair grows, you see, you have dead ends. And then the style is, okay, some of you might have short hair, but for those of us who have not managed to get the courage of short hair, forgive, just listen. And then the stylist comes, so your ends are dead. Those ends need to be cut off. What do you need to cut off in your life for the decision of the woman that you need to be or the man that you need to be? You need to decide it and you need to cut it off. What happens if you see how that man is looking stressed? I liked that picture. I don't know why the picture called me, but that man was looking so stressed, so I used him. What happened What happens if you don't rediscover yourself? Resentment builds. You start to resent your partner. You start to resent people. You start to resent life. You start to just, I beg, I'm not, oh, please. Resentment. You live for moments of escape. You know that thing that you people do? Maybe I don't know if maybe they're not here, they're not in this group. I can't wait for Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Why not thank God it's every day? What are you escaping from? TGIF. Woohoo! Let's go. You're complaining about everything. You complain about work, but tomorrow you pack your bag and pack your lunch box and you will still go back there tomorrow. What are you living for? Are you living for moments of escape? Are you living for Friday night so that Saturday and Sunday you don't work? Today is Saturday. I enjoy what I do. And I'm happy to do another class right after this because this is life for me. Outside this, I don't talk like this. So, and people that know me know that I can be very fine. I'm sure some people are surprised that Debbie's talking like this. Yes. But there's something about living that when you are living for moments of escape, check. Are you living or are you surviving? Are you surviving or are you thriving? Are you living for Friday night? Are you living for the weekend? Oh, because you're not enjoying what you're doing. You need to check it. Your kids internalize your discontent. That's very key for me. That was enough reason for me to change. That was enough reason. In your house, everybody's fighting. And I started to look at myself. I say myself because my husband is very calm and very cool and very collected. He's too cool, cool guy. I started looking, so where are these children learning this thing from? And until I told myself the truth, I was not going to be able to change the truth. Because the truth of the matter is that they can see, they feel you. Babies feel you. Babies feel your stress. Babies feel, I'm not even talking about a 5-year-old now. A baby, so when my children were babies, I remember then the midwives, visitors, health visitors, yes, that's what they're called. They used to say, they gave one advice, I won't forget. Say when you're stressed and you're trying to put the baby to sleep and the baby is not sleeping, the baby is, still twirling and, whining and crying. If your husband does not feel the same way you feel, or if another adult is with you that doesn't feel the same way with you, just hand that baby over to the person and you see. So you see that stress, you see that you're trying to, what's the word? What's that thing? Soothe the baby. Sometimes English can be hard, forgive me. You're trying to soothe the baby, but the baby is not being soothed. Then you're getting agitated and the baby is now crying more and more. Don't forget that children internalize your discontent. Children internalize your discontent. Okay, I have a few minutes more. You deny yourself the permission to evolve. So when you don't rediscover yourself, you have the permission, you deny yourself the permission not to evolve. Anyway, that's about it, to be fair. And I would like to take questions now. Any questions? That's about it. I didn't intend to spend more than 1 hour, so I would love to take questions now.
Who else is feeling that fire? When I told you that you do more than 1 hour, you thought I was joking. And now look at you. I had to be sending you a message that please, who else felt that fire? Like Debbie came to roast us today. Debbie came to roast us.
I roasted myself too. We're not above the message. We all need to be intentional in how we live.
It was just a call. It was just a call to action for a lot of us. The truth is, it's not that we don't know what we are supposed to do. We do. We preach it. We say it. But the courage, the boldness to just start and do it. I think that's the challenge most people really have. And thank you for calling us to action. See the comments. Please, if you have questions with this fire, I don't think people will want to ask. But please, if you have questions for us.
Don't worry, I'm nice. But nice
find themselves. We've not recovered from the sunshine. And now Debbie has brought her own again. Okay, someone
I
said,
didn't believe she was the
did you see that?
same person.
That's transformation. That's what passion can do. Passion just takes you out of your shell, breaks the shell, and just releases you out. Very early tired. How do I not say I'm tired? So that's the question for you, Debbie. When you are really tired in the body, how do you say you're not tired?
I think for me, what I started to do is I make my children understand that human beings can be tired. Especially you, I use the and I tell them to think about themselves. I say you've gone to school, you've had a long day, and you can get tired. But I try not to always say it. I just say, "Mommy needs to. Can I sit down for 10 minutes?" I'm not. I don't want to. I don't want them to internalize the word tired. So I say, "Can I sit down for 10 minutes? Can I have a rest for 10 minutes?" Sometimes when mommy has been out all day shopping and everything, she just needs a little rest. So I've started trying to rephrase my words, and a lot of times I found out that the tiredness is from doing the mundane. It's from doing the mundane. So I don't know how to put it, but I try and draw strength whenever I remember that I'm a television for somebody, and that person is watching me, and that person is I see this motherhood as a calling to be in my higher self. So in the sense that if I know that what I do will affect the next generation, which is affecting, I see it as a calling to my higher self. And drawing strength from the calling of my higher self causes me to live on a higher plane. So I'm not trying to live in the mundane, teaching them how to cook. So I rephrase the mundane things of life to make it come across as I am doing I'm doing a work. So it's not about me being a mom. I'm doing a work. I'm doing a sacred work. So if I'm doing a sacred, I'm drawing strength from that sacred work, because that sacred work is also going to help my own children to thrive. So yes, I understand that we get tired, and I'm not going to tell you to go to your children and start denying that you get tired. You're not going to deny that, but help them to understand emotions and help them to understand what happens in the emotions. My children tell me, I started telling my daughter that in the evening, because I wake up very, 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 very early. I wake up at an ungodly hour. So by 6, 7, I'm already tired. I didn't want to use the word, but there was no other word to use. So I tell them that, okay, if you want us to have a good evening, can I just do a 20-minute power nap and then I will recharge? And they've started learning to give me that boundary. They're 5 and 7, so they can entertain themselves. They started learning to give me that boundary, and they started allowing me to just go. Mommy needs, in fact, the bigger one tells the smaller one, mommy needs to rest. When mommy doesn't rest, she's like a tiger. Let her rest. but
They,
but
they
yeah,
don't
but
put it down for you.
But that's the thing. That's the thing. I just help them to understand that being tired is a natural thing.
Yeah.
But then I take my 20, 30 minutes power nap. Sometimes it's not up to, sometimes I overstretch it, but I recharge with that. I put that part of my day as so that they see that it's normal, that mommy
Wow.
needs to sit. Sorry. Yeah.
Thank you. So for my kids, they will tell Alexa to start countdown, 30 minutes
Oh
countdown.
yeah, my
So
kids do that too. They do
30
that
minutes,
too.
they want to get up.
They do that too. They make it so loud.
Yeah, so that you are counting down for you. I have another question for you. Just like the moderator said, we know that we need a change. However, for me, I need a coach or mentorship to guide for the next level.
I'm available.
Yeah. So Debbie is organizing this 5-week journey. If you need a coach, sometimes what you need is a midwife to help you birth what it's already inside of you. I mean, every one of us, we all have it in us. We just need someone to help us birth it. So Debbie is there for you as a coach and as a midwife. She's organizing a 5-week training mentorship class. So uh that's the flyer on the screen. I'm going to roll the link to join. That's it there. And so either of these two, I'm going to drop this in the comment section so you can also pick it up. So, Debbie, do you want to share a little thing about this for us before we go to the next week?
So
Or
it's
let's
just
go
a
to the next
5 week.
question. then
Okay.
you
Or do you want me to?
then
Do you
you
want
wrap
me to
up
take
with
the
this.
next question? Okay.
Yeah, let's go to that. Then you wrap up with this. Does that work for you?
Yes. Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. So the next question is, thank you, Ma, for this wonderful session. My question is, how do you marry understanding your seasons of life and rediscovering yourself? How do you deal with your seasons of life and not lose yourself?
Okay, so
Interesting.
on last week, just this week that part, just in fact, it's not yet the new week. So this week, a lady said she wanted to talk to me, and she has a 20-month-old, she has a 9-month-old, a 20-month-old, and a less than 5-year old. So let's say three children under 5, and she was telling me all the great and mighty things she wants to do. Now, let me say something. Honoring your season of life does not mean that you're out of your purpose. If you have a 9-month-old and you have a 20-month-old and you have a less than 5-year-old, it's not about see some. So there's this thing also that we want to come out as, what's the word, heroes. When you're telling your story. In fact, let me even give you another story. There was this lady that was signing contracts on her labor bed, and I'm happy for her, but I want to be present on my own labor bed. I don't want to be signing contracts on my labor bed. Honor your season of life. Having a season of life does not also mean that you have stopped growing. If you stay in the right community, if you stay with the right, so you might not be out there all day, but you are in the right, there's a community that you'll be in, that you will know that when it's time, you will be uncomfortable and you will stand up. So you may not be able to, while don't use season of life as an excuse not to grow. You can grow in a season, but you don't have to be doing everything. So I said, this thing that you're doing, you need emotion. You need an emotional strength to be there for a 20-month-old. You need an emotional strength to be there for a 9-month-old. She said, oh, when I'm with them, I don't get to do anything. I said, pause it. Being with a 9-month-old, a 20-month-old, and a 5-year-old is not doing nothing. You are betting destinies. You are curating destinies. You are doing what God has called you to do as a mother, which is first to those children. So you're not doing nothing. So rephrase your mind from saying because you're not doing anything, you're not doing anything. Being a mom, being a dad is something you are doing. You are living life. You are creating life. You are giving destiny. You are giving birth to something next. So please, it is not doing anything. In that not doing anything, as you call it, are you growing? Are you reading? Even if it's 5 minutes a day, you do something, a power reading, you do a power journaling, you do a power podcast, you do a anything power that will keep you on your toes, that will make you realize that after the season you are no longer supposed to be in that season, that thing that you are listening to will keep you and kick you out of a season, from one season to another season. That's what you need. You don't need to be a superhero. You don't need to be a martyr to burn yourself out just because you want to do whatever you are doing. Whether you are a mom or whether you are suckling, a baby suckling at your breast, you are doing purpose. That milk you're producing is your purpose. Do it well, but stay in the place where you will be growing, where you will be listening, where you'll be hearing. And that's exactly what I did. I put myself in places of growth. No anyhowness. Places of growth. You plant yourself in places of growth. When it's time, see people saying that, let me tell you something. Today is my first time of going online, of doing the live. It's my first time. Today. But when it is time, your light will shine. Don't give up. Don't use a season to allow mediocrity. You might not be seeming like you're doing much, but you are doing a lot. Does that answer your question, please?
Powerful response. That was a powerful response. And I think people need to understand that this purpose thing we're talking about is not until you are on stage, set camera, lights. Like what she said, breastfeeding is a purpose. At that season, that's your purpose. Just be faithful to it. The next phase, taking care of toddlers, that's your purpose for that season. Be faithful. It's just about being faithful to what is committed to your hands part-time. It's not until you set rig lights, until you are a guest speaker. We need to start seeing things around us, taking care of family as part of our purpose too. Thank you. That was a brilliant response. You see, for me,
Thank
that I
you.
feel like hugging you right now, Coach Debbie. Oh,
Thank you.
Eogs.
Hugs.
Eogs. So another question, any other question? Okay, another thing I just thought to mention, Debbie, you treat stone as some of us, especially some of us that are doing 9 to 5, and we are just so stuck in it. And we are looking for a way to find ourselves and understand seasons of life. So enjoy it while it's there, but always plan your exit too. I mean, that's what I tell myself. You need to start planning your exit. I think another thing I'm also trying to do is to learn to take a break from work. So now I decided to, so because of where I work, I'm allowed to have like a flexi work pattern. So now I work 9 days in 2 weeks. So instead of 10 days, I do 9 days. And the last day is just for me. That's
Mm,
my own day. So that's
yeah.
the day I
And you're
catch
actually
up
in
with
a country that allows you to do flex working. That's the
flex work.
truth.
So that's the day I
Sometimes you
catch
just
up with
need to
myself,
talk. You need to talk and
ask
tell them what
questions.
you want.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think most organizations have that policy. So that day I just sit down with myself, do a reflection. What did I say I want to do? How far have I gone with it? What's the next phase? So I just tag that day as my own day for my own self reflection, for my just take care of myself. If I want to go for spa or anything, that day sha dedicated to me. At least till the kids come back from school. So I think it's something someone else might want to explore. You may not be able to resign from that job immediately,
Yeah.
but you can start withdrawing gradually.
True.
And if you need
True.
to reduce your working hours too.
I work part time. That's what I do. And in fact, my part time was so part time that I even part time did some more part time because I'm like, no, now I still enjoy being at home with the kids.
I
And it's
have
a
colleagues.
season. Well,
Yeah, sorry,
I'm
good.
listening.
Yeah, I have
I
colleagues.
said
I have a
it's a
colleague
season that
that
will
work.
end soon.
We're talking together. So as I said, I have a colleague that work only term time. Once the kids are on break, she doesn't work. So once they
I do that
resume,
too.
you have to work. So I love that kind of life, but I don't have that boldness yet. Maybe when I make some more money, I can.
But you see, take care. I'm going to take you on that. Maybe I should take you on it privately. You have a business sense. So what do you mean?
Shoot me,
Sorry, I
I'm
have
here.
to attack you. Sorry, I
Shoot
have
me,
to
I'm here
attack you.
for you.
You have a business sense. You're already selling things online. What do you mean? Come on. Why are we
Yeah,
afraid? My tagline for my coaching is, "Hey, mamas, let's start living." It's enough of this. Enough of the surviving. Let's
yeah,
thrive. Let's thrive. We were called to thrive, not survive.
yeah.
Enough. Okay, I rest my
Thank
case.
you. Okay, Cordula says you own the stage. Yeah. So let's quickly talk about this coaching, this mentorship program, before we round up completely. Yeah. Do you want to tell us about this five
So
weeks
just
training?
say, so it's my test launch program. Is normally going to be longer than this, but this is my test launch because I'm just starting out, which is great. So I'm happy for Debbie. Woohoo! It's a 5-week rediscovery journey, a safe guided space for women. Women only. Oh, I don't do men. Sorry, I look for a man coach. A safe guided space for women ready to reconnect their voice, reignite their self-worth, and reclaim their joy. It's practical, it's supportive, and it's transformational. What's inside the program? We have daily provoking prompts. We have weekly live coaching sessions. We have a discovery workbook. We have a WhatsApp support group, and we have accountability and connection. Those are the basic things that we are offering you. Yes. And
Thank
the
you.
price was on that flyer. It's £35 for the 5 weeks, or 49,000 for the 5 weeks, for 9,000 naira for the 5 weeks. And I'll I'll drop my I'll drop my contacts in the group if you want to reach me.
Yeah, and I have the link scrolling. I've also dropped it in the comment section. So please do well to subscribe. If you say, okay, Debbie, I need to know more about this rediscovery, I need one-to-one session with you. So please use that link. This is your opportunity. Because very soon, Debbie will start charging like $10,000 for you to have a one-to-one session.
Yeah, in
So
the
please
spirit.
maximize this now. Let's take
Maximize
advantage of this
our days of
35
small
pounds.
beginnings.
So that you can say, when she started with 35. I'm glad I was part of it. And now Debbie is saying the 10,000 save, I'm full, I'm busy, I can't even take any more space.
You're in the spirit,
Recently
sister.
they drank someone online for charging 18,000 for consulting. I'm like,
Yeah,
what's the problem?
Shay, what's his name again?
It's the
Shay.
value is bringing. It's the value is bringing. So if you can't pay for it,
And to
leave
be
it. Those
fair,
that want,
I won't even blame him. To be fair, the kind of training, for instance, I've been to 2 conferences out of the country only this year. I've been to seminars that I'm paying millions of dollars. I mean, sorry, not billions. Hey, Jesus, sorry, thousands of dollars and pounds for. So it's not just it's your becoming doesn't happen by chance. There's a lot
that's
of training. There's a lot of underwork that has to be done, and you can't do it by yourself. You will buy books. You will live. Give
yeah.
up so much. So I can't blame him for charging 18 grand. He has paid his dues.
Price. Yeah, that's it. So then I think the way we grew up, our culture, our system, where it's getting better now is when it comes to paying for coaching, we see it like a taboo. Like, why do I have to pay? Why can't it do it for humanity? Why can't it do it for free? I'm like, well, no, we need to get rid of this mindset. You want someone to train you for you to grow, and you are saying you should do it for free. How? Like, how? You should be ready to make payments and make commitments for your own growth. It's you that are
Yeah,
growing. So why don't you want to make that sacrifice? So
yeah,
please, guys, let's take advantage of this 35 pounds. It's really cheap. I won't lie to you. I've attended sessions that are way more than this, and it's just for 6 hours, and this is five
yeah,
weeks. So,
yeah.
so guys, let's take guys. Someone is asking for discount. We're not going to push this. We don't want discounts. We are doing for fun.
If
No,
you
we are
not
not
hear that,
asking
it's
for
very cheap. I'm literally giving it to you for free.
we are not asking for discount. I'm sorry, I'm not going to push this out. We are not asking for discount. Yeah, that's it now. So then we need to talk about books. You guys need to start investing in books. I mean, be intentional about your growth. That's just it. Don't live at the mercy of it. But sometimes I look at people, they make us they have this presentation like they are helpless, like they can't help themselves. You know what you
Yeah,
need to do. Just get to it. Don't let people start patting you on your head before. Ah, so much for
yeah.
today. Thank you, Debbie. Thank you so much for your
No,
time.
thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you for the opportunity to be on your platform. I don't take it for granted. And
Thank
I love
you.
you all.
We love you too. So, everyone, do you have any parting words for people on the call? Anything you want to say to us? Because now we have given my own books. I need to go back to my drawing board again. Actually, I'm working on it. It's a work in progress, but at
Yeah,
least you have also pushed me a little further. Yeah, which is
it
good.
is
Thank
good.
you.
It is good. We all need that push. Thank you
Yeah,
so much for having me. And I'll end with my tagline for my coaching business is, hey mamas, let's start living. No other side.
let's start
Let's start
living,
living.
guys.
Yeah.
Let's start living. Thank you, Debbie. And
Thank you.
we'll call it a day. Thank you all for joining. So, like I said earlier, this program was planned by PSP, Parents Supporting Parents in the UK. And if you are not a member of the group, that's the link. You can join. You can scan the QR code. Or if you have cousins and nieces like Debbie and nephews that, that are in the UK and need a community or a support system, please send that link to them. And if you have any other question, Debbie is on the group. Just drop it for her. She will answer you. Or you can send
Thank
her
you.
a private chat. She's going to drop her account. I'm going to tag her on the group so you can reach out to her. Thank you once again, Debbie, for your
Thank
time. We're
you.
so honored to have you. And thank you, everyone, too, for being a part of this amazing session. To whom much is given, much is expected. So please let's go and act on what we have heard today. And
Thank you.
I can't wait to hear your success stories. Like, I was at that webinar, Debbie said this, and I ran with it, and here is the result. I like that kind of testimony. All right,
Yeah.
guys,
All right.
enjoy the rest of the weekend, and happy Saturday to you all.
Happy
Thank you.
Saturday. Thank you.
Yeah, take your flowers.